Hello and welcome to another edition of Cubs on Tap. Due to popular demand, I'm doing a solo show tonight. The thousands, millions of you that called and texted and tweeted me and everything. Tyler, we need you back for a solo show. Come on, come on. I'm back. I'm back. Here we are. We're talking first of all, I'm great. I'm great. I'm running on sushi, a couple of beers. Great weekend, fun weekend. So physically, mentally, everything, I'm great. I hope you guys are doing great too. But we got a lot to talk about. We've got a series W to dissect and look into. And big time announcement. Anthony Rizzo, as everybody knows, Anthony Rizzo retirement, all that. We'll get all into that. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a great weekend and is doing great. But yeah, we'll get right into it. Last Thursday, as everybody knows, Anthony Rizzo announces his retirement after I want to say a 13-year career. Decides he wants to retire as a Cub. Have a ceremony on Saturday. But man, wow. I mean, we could do a whole entire episode. We could do a week-long episode on just Anthony Rizzo himself. I mean, I'm sure everybody listening would agree that almost everybody's favorite player for a near decade. But yeah, Anthony Rizzo Thursday announces his retirement, and wow, what a career, right? I mean, a freaking near decade with Chicago, as we all know, drafted with I believe he was drafted with Boston. Gets traded to the Padres. Well, what people forget is gets traded to the Padres in the Adrian Gonzalez trade, and then comes over, I believe, in the Andrew Cashner trade. Former Cubs legend Cashner gets traded to Chicago, and just right off the bat, just day one, creates his legacy, builds himself up as the leader of this team and this franchise and organization. And what a career it was. Just a couple, just to toot his horn for a little bit. For his career, 303 career home runs, 4 straight 30 home run seasons, 3 straight 30 homer 100 RBI seasons, 222 hit by pitches. Pretty sure that's 8th all time. 3-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 1-time Platinum Glove winner, which is pretty freaking impressive. 1-time Silver Slugger, 2 top 4 MVP finishes, a 0. Let me repeat myself. A 0 ERA on the mound. Struck out Freddie Freeman, a 2016 World Series champion. We could go on and on about all those things, but out of all that, and if you listen, and we'll get into Saturday's broadcast, but if you listen to Saturday's radio broadcast, which was what I did for the most part, and Pat Hughes was on all weekend, all Saturday, talking about just memories and just everything about him. And I'm sure Anthony, he's probably said this in an interview, so I don't want to speak for him or anything like that, but his greatest accomplishment has to be his work with all the cancer research and all the hospitals and patients that he visited, and the people and the families that he affected throughout his career. As you know, 18-year-old diagnosed with, I believe, with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I probably mispronounced that, but something just 18-year-old kid playing baseball, not thinking anything like that. You get diagnosed with something like that and still comes out, makes the big leagues, and becomes what he becomes. And yeah, just an amazing career, but more importantly, as Pat Hughes said, great, just an even better human being. I mean, I can sit here and say that Anthony Rizzo, he was the last favorite player on the Cubs that I ever had. Um, I'm left-handed. I played first base. I just it was always it's like when Carlos Pena was on the Cubs. I was like, oh man, we got a lefty first baseman. We get Anthony Rizzo, and you know, it's all I'm pretty sure what his first he makes his debut against the Mets. I can't remember if that was I want to say that was in New York, but I believe he got 2 hits that game. And just yeah, man, was there for the bad times, there for the good times. And I believe Pat, when he interviewed him earlier or later in the game on Saturday, he even asked him, like, when did you realize that you was the leader of this team? And the best answer that just a question like that he gave was, it was one of those things where it's like he never really thought of himself like that. His thing was, I'm going to be a good teammate and lead by example. And he did that year in, year out, played hurt, showed up for the moment, showed up for the fans, on the field, off the field, everything. Just like I said, we could go all day long about that. And Scott here from Iowa. On a scale of 1 to 10, how jealous are you of Rizzo's first game in the bleachers? Gets a home run hit right at him. He drops, starts a beer snake, gets to sing this everything stretch with Eddie and Cindy. Yeah. And we'll get to Saturday, but yeah, it was like a movie, Scott. It's just like you couldn't have scripted it any better. And the fact that he's sitting in left field, which is everybody knows, left field is the best part of the bleachers. Left field is better than right field, as we all know and can agree on. Um, and yeah, and I think the hashtag, I don't even know if they do hashtags anymore, but just the theme of that Saturday was one of us, one of us. And that's exactly what it felt like Saturday. But yeah, congratulations to Anthony Rizzo. Amazing career. I mean, hell, I got his jersey on my wall right here. That was the first thing I had to get. When my wife gave me permission to, I just newsflash or just word of advice for people that are about to get married. A lot of times when you guys purchase a house, you may get one room, one wall to yourself. Just FYI. And with mine, I turned this into my Cubs den, and that was the first thing I had to get. It was an Anthony Rizzo jersey. Had to. I mean, hell, we named our dog Rizzo. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there whose Facebook password or Wi-Fi or whatever is Rizzo, whatever. It's just the impact that guy had on. He made being a Cubs fan. He made life better for Cubs fans during that span. He did. He did. Um, any game, you pulled up a game and he's in the lineup. You knew that he was going to give it his all. I was at the game in 2019. I believe he hurt his knee. He was in a freaking knee brace in 2019, and we won't have to talk about the collapse at the end of that season. Don't want to talk about that. But he wasn't even. Nobody thought that he was going to play in that series against St. Louis. And me and my buddy from work, we flew up. We flew up for 2 of those games that series. And I remember it may have been like an hour, before the game even started. And everybody got there was that little, the notification that Anthony Rizzo will be in the lineup tonight. And I remember he led off that game, came out to the Undertaker's theme music, his very first AB. If you were there, you knew how electric that was, the moment and everything. And what does he do? He hits a opposite field home run to left center. I was sitting in the left field, the very back of the left field bleachers, like up against the back there, like the back row. And I was just screaming like a little teenage kid, just going nuts. But we could sit here and talk about so many Rizzo memories, whether it was the obvious catch in Game 7 of that epic World Series, or all the tarp catches, or the AB in 2021, the 14-pitch AB off St. Louis again, and hits a home run, or charging Cincinnati's dugout, Aroldis Chapman in, I believe, 2015 or 14. I don't remember which one it was, but you could, again, we could go all freaking day on Anthony Rizzo memories. So congratulations and I believe he said because obviously he's planning on being an ambassador for the team the rest of the season. And I believe he said he was interested in pursuing a career in media. So Anthony, just throwing it out there. There's a seat at our table here anytime you want it. You just say the word and it's yours, buddy. So again, congratulations. Uh Real quick, Friday Cubs win 6-4. Boyd wasn't bad. We'll talk about Friday real quick. Boyd wasn't bad. Shaky first inning, but he bounced back. I believe he went 5 for the rest of the game. I want to say he went 5 innings. The bullpen was excellent. The bullpen was lights out, 0 on runs. I like the Brad Keller and Kittredge combo roles, if that makes any sense. I like the and Craig did it earlier in that Atlanta series. Brad Keller, he is, but it feels like right now Craig is using Brad Keller in the best situation possible. If that 8th inning, I want to say in Atlanta, there was a moment in Atlanta, one of the games, I can't remember which one it was, but it was the 8th inning. You had 1, 2, 3 up. Brad Keller's coming in. And he did that on Friday against Tampa. Brad Keller took the 8th. Kittredge took the 9th. Things worked out. Love to see it. I want to say at the time, Brad Keller had a 22-plus inning scoreless streak up until today, or up until Saturday, but we'll get to that later. So impressive. Awesome. And Mo Baller with the triple. Love to see that. And Ian Happ with another homer, having another consistent season. I know we can say what we want. People can say what they want about Happ and everything like that, but you look at his stat sheet, you look at his baseball reference, numbers are there all the time. But 6-4 win on Friday. Love to see it. And Saturday, and real quick, just to get to Scott's comment here, best memory of Rizzo is his reaction to Javi's iconic play against. That was another one. Watching him laugh on the right there on the rail. One of the most craziest plays ever in baseball. I mean, I know people can say what they want about whether it was a heads up Javi play or a stupid Pittsburgh play. I don't care. That was one of the most exciting plays I'd seen. And yeah, to cap it off, there was Rizzo standing right there on the guard or the fence and just laughing his ass off, just like, what the crap did I just see? That was awesome too. But so Saturday, speaking of Rizzo, Saturday, retirement day, Rizzo retirement celebration day. Family shows up to the game. You see all the photos and videos and everything like that. All them coming into Wrigley, bringing in his baby boy and his wife, and just awesome to see. I believe earlier before the game started. I believe he was taking pictures with his kid at first base, Anthony Jr. Just awesome. And threw out the first pitch with his family. He sat in the bleachers and left. Heckling Ian Happ. Ian Happ's throwing him balls with $100 bills on it. Here's a cool thing, and I'm sure a lot of people probably seen it too, but it's such an Anthony Rizzo move. Bought every single person in the outfield, in the bleachers, a round of beer on him. If you didn't see it, he was passing out they were passing out these little cards. Just basically, thanks for everything, and here's a round on me. Love to see it. And like Scott said, like a freaking movie, we kick things off. Mo Baller with the scoring. First career home run opposite field. Who does he hit it to? Anthony Rizzo. Almost catches it. You can't write that up any better. I mean, you can't script that. First game out in left field and almost hits a ball to Anthony Rizzo. So yeah, crazy. But yeah, as far as the Rizzo stuff, you get the all the interviews. If you watch the game or listen to the radio broadcast, he was on both broadcasts talking about just his time with the team and the fans and all that kind of stuff. Sings an epic rendition of the seventh inning stretch. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Sings the 7th inning stretch in the bleachers with Eddie Vedder, and my mind's gone blank, but the post interview of that, if you haven't watched that, that is just a classic, having a good afternoon at the ballpark and enjoying everybody's company. That's Eddie Vedder right there. Drops an F-bomb on the marquee broadcast. Cindy Crawford, sorry. Thank you, Darren. And yeah, just I mean, you can't write that up any better. You can't. I mean, other than the fact that the Cubs lost, which we'll get to it here in a minute on Saturday. But I mean, one of us, right? That's how I mean, that's how you can describe that. That's how I would describe it. But Colin Ray, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, which for Colin Ray, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, if that's what you get from Colin Ray, that's that's not bad for Colin Ray. It's really not. Um, the bullpen blew it late in this game. You could arguably say maybe what they were fatigued a little bit. I want to say those guys had gone what Kilters and Keller had both, or Keller had gone maybe three straight games, I want to say. So maybe it was a little bit of fatigue, but man, you had to win that game. You had to win that game just because of the moment. But yeah, just sucked to see that they weren't able to win. But hey, still a day, moments that you'll see that on replay for years and years to come. You remember the day that Anthony Rizzo came back to Wrigley to watch a game in the bleachers, and yeah, man, just awesome, just awesome. But again, would have loved to see a win, or love to see a win on Saturday. But hey, they get it on Sunday after a Shota Imanaga rough first inning, giving up back-to-back home runs to Yanni Diaz and Junior Caminaro, which Caminaro has. What a season he has had so far. I want to say 44 home runs, 100 plus RBI. Yeah, you can say, oh, well, he's played a lot of his games at the minor league park in Tampa, whatever it is. Yeah, but still, for a guy like Caminaro, I want to say he's 21, 22 years old, to hit 40 plus home runs and 100 RBIs in his first big league season. And he hit one on Saturday too. So yeah, what a career he's had, or what a season he's had so far. But Nico Hoerner, big day, smacks a double to cut things down 2-1. Ian Happ, of course, hits another home run. Before that, I want to say the Rays scored on it got called it was an infield single. It got called as an error at first, but got moved over. It got switched to a hit. Either way, 3-1. Ian Happ with the homer. I want to say it was his 22nd. Could be wrong on that. 22nd, 23rd, something like that. And then Nico just clutch in the 7th. RBI, 2-run double. And the bullpen does its job. The bullpen does its job again. Kiltrich close things down. And next thing you know, bada boom, bada bing. 4-3 win over the Rays. Win the series. It's what they needed to do. What they needed to do coming off that. You're right here at the end of September, and they do a job. Yeah, like I said, they should have won Saturday, but you bounce back, you win a game against the Rays, who the Rays aren't terrible. The Rays are what? Yeah, they're hovering around 500, but they're not an awful team. And to come back, especially late in the game like that, it's nice to see. And like I had here highlighted, the bullpen was great again. Javier Assad, we've seen a relief appearance from him. And I think that's something that he's probably here down the stretch. We're probably going to see a lot of that. If Assad's going to get in the game, it looks like it's probably going to be in situations like this. So, and a scoreless outing. And I also believe Caleb Thielbar had a scoreless outing as well. So, yeah, for a bullpen that just lost its closer, for a bullpen that just lost its closer, they have done a great job in maximizing what they have, maximizing their assets, what they have, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, great to see. And hopefully it's something that they can carry over for the rest of this month and into October. Just a couple series thoughts that I had after just this Rays series was, well, one, the bullpen stepped up. And again, hopefully that's something that continues. I get it. You've got a lot of guys in situations. Kittredge, yeah, I don't think he closed any games in Baltimore. I think he got his 5th save today, but he's in a position where, yeah, he may close games, but it's all going to depend on the order that they're facing. Tampa, I believe on Saturday, Tampa's heart of the order was coming up in the 8th inning. or maybe that was Friday. Sorry, Friday. And so yeah, we're going to use Brad Keller in the 8th inning because that's the game right there. And I think that's something. Even if Danny P comes back, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Even if Danny P comes back when he got hurt or before he got hurt, he was throwing himself out of that closer role because he wasn't doing so hot. And so I think we're at a point with this bullpen that it's all going to depend on the upcoming order in the opposing team's lineup. And yeah, that's kind of odd. Not having a closer, not having a legit closer coming in, but that's the best we can do, right? What else? I had a question. Just watching this series and watching the last series against Atlanta. And let's say don't even think about money. Don't even think about the contract or anything like that. How many of us right now wouldn't mind having in our bullpen with the way it is right now, Danny P out, right? Do you kind of miss Ron Presley a little bit? I know he had that horrible outing, I believe, in San Francisco. But after that, he wasn't awful. He wasn't terrible. And obviously he's not coming back now. But I don't know. I mean, I get it. At that time when he got released, they were moving things around. They were adding people to the bullpen. I want to say that was before the trade, right around the trade deadline. I could be wrong. Somebody's probably screaming at their phone right now, telling me I'm wrong. But I get it. But let's just say, despite all that, just despite all that, just take that all out. Do you kind of miss it wouldn't hurt. I'm not saying he's going to be that shutdown closer that Houston had a few years ago. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know. It wouldn't be nice, it would be nice having that other arm in Presley because Porter Hodge hasn't looked so hot. And Darren here, yes, because Presley was adapting to pitch in the 7th, 8th, etc. I agree, Darren. And again, I'm not sitting here saying that Ryan Presley is this lights out bullpen arm or anything like that. But when you see the holes that this team has right now, I don't want to say holes because the bullpen's been pretty good. But when you got Porter Hodge, who's I don't trust him right now. I trust Brad Keller. I trust Kittredge and Thielbar. Pomeranz hasn't been bad for the most part. And then after that, I think, Porter Hodge. I don't trust Porter Hodge. And it's like what me and Rich talked about. I want to say on our last episode, there's going to come a moment in this playoff series, whoever we play, wherever we're at, there's going to come a moment, there's going to come a game where it's probably going to turn into a bullpen game, depending on how far you get into the playoffs. There's going to be a starter that may get kicked out early just because he's getting hit. Who knows? And yeah, it just, and I'm not sitting here screaming at this for, oh, why did you get rid of Ron Presley? I'm not saying that at all. I'm not. I'm just saying it. I miss Ron Presley a little bit right now, just because of our bullpen situation. But anyways, this series, bullpen stepped up. Love to see it. What else? Hey, we won again. Now, before I say this, I know these two players are two of our best players. I'm not saying we don't need them, because we do. But we won without Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki. That's impressive. I don't know. I get it. They were both slumping, but still, you won a series without your two best players. So that's a positive. Of course, we'd like to have him back. I think Seiya was out this series due to an illness, and Kyle Tucker's still rehabbing his calf. So we'll see how that goes. But hey, it was impressive to win a series and I'm going to say it right now, especially for this series, when those two guys were out, Nico Horner stepped up. Ian Happ stepped up. Mo Baller in his moments stepped up. It was great to see. And Darren, again, back on Ryan Presley real quick. Another thing, Presley was mentoring Palencia, the mental aspect of closer as well. You're exactly right, Darren. You can say what you want, how and Brad Keller and you could say with Brad Keller with him getting the loss on Saturday, we can all sit here. I mean, you could argue that it was fatigue. I mean, he's been overused a lot here lately. But I honestly feel like there's guys that when they get used to that eighth inning role and that's their spot, and then you just automatically ask them, when that closer goes down and they say, "Hey man, we just need you to move from the eighth inning to the ninth inning." The eighth inning and ninth, you're doing great, so that's fine. So and people think, I think, Darren, people think that not everybody, not us weirdo baseball fans that watch it and cover it on and look at and watch all the games and everything like that. But there's fans that think, hey, yeah, he's doing great in the eighth inning. He's done great in the seventh inning as a setup guy, whatever. He can just jump over in that ninth inning. And I agree. There is just that ninth inning, those last 3 outs is just a different beast in its own. And we're not even talking playoffs. That's even that's a different dragon of its own. But yeah, so Presley, having Presley in that bullpen with Danny P and whoever else there, he's been there, done that. A guy that who may, for all I know, he may have not been the most vocal guy, but he may have been a guy that just watching his mentality and everything like that is just something that could rub off on guys. But again, I'm not sitting here crying that, oh man, we need Ryan Presley back. I'm not saying that. So I don't want anybody to clip this and say anything like that, or think that I'm saying that. I'm just saying it'd just be nice if Ryan Presley was here right now, considering the situation we're in. Magic number is 4. What game next week do we clinch the playoffs? It's a good question. It's a good question, Scott. I don't know, Matt. We'll talk about the upcoming series here in a minute, and I'll get back to that. But what else? Castro, Turner, Santana, McGuire should not be on any playoff roster. Yeah, I think. Willie Castro, he was a nice pickup at the beginning, and he's kind of he's had 1 home run, and that's really been about it. Turner and Santana, I agree, Scott. I still feel like one of those two between Turner and Santana, probably Turner is going to be on that roster. And McGuire, man, I don't know. I think the whole situation depends on. I think a lot of it depends on Miguel Amaya's recovery. Obviously, Carson Kelly's going to be there. You've got to go with 2. You've got to go with at least 2 catchers. And I mean, do they go with 3 if Amaya is going to be one of them? I don't know. It's going to be something that that Craig's going to have to figure out, and hopefully it's something. Hopefully we see Amaya come back soon. But back to the series thoughts just for a second. They rallied back to win a game late. Love to see that. Hopefully that's something that can move forward with. Like I said earlier, Assad bullpen appearance today. Probably something that he's going to have to get used to, because I feel like that's going to be a role for him that if he can step up in that role, then maybe it can help cover some of those innings in the bullpen, especially at the end of this month and going into October. And the one little, it's not a negative, but it's just a little highlight. You have to, as far as because Shota's last 2 outings has been this way. Matthew Boyd on Friday was the same way. You have to cut out these first inning runs. I get it, it's baseball, but I look at it this way: we're down the stretch right now. We're in playoff mode, at least in my head, and everybody here, you watch the playoffs and everything like that. First inning runs, man, especially in the playoffs, are a killer. And real quick on Matthew Boyd, since the All-Star break, after Friday, 3-7, 4.37 ERA, 29 earned runs in just under 60 innings pitched. I'm not saying he's been awful this second half, but he's definitely not been his first half self. And one of the reasons why is the first inning run. Same thing with Shota. Shota gave up back-to-back home runs today. I want to say his series against the Brave, he gave up 3 first inning runs, and I get it. He settled down after that. But sometimes, depending on who you're playing, if you're playing, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big, I don't like, I'd rather not play the Padres, but it is what it is. But you give up those runs early in the playoffs, and that could be it. That could be the game right there, especially against a team like San Diego, because that bullpen is nasty. And you got that juju magic of Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, Jackson Merrill, and whoever else. So that's just the one thing, especially with those two guys, is just you've got to cut down on the early runs. You have to, because that's killer. That's killer in the playoffs. And I get it. We're still in the season. They probably got 2 more starts left. Maybe they can figure it out. And I know, again, it's still the season, but still, man, at least mindset wise, and I'm not trying to say again, you shoot yourself in the foot early, and that could be all she wrote. Over in the comments real quick. I think Castro is a must for his glove at third, second outfield backup in emergency. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of his bat, but yeah, like you said, Darren, as just his utility, I feel like he's going to make the roster. He will. He'll definitely make the roster. It's just, how well do you trust him at the plate? I don't really trust him that much, but again, his versatility is probably what's going to make him the playoff roster. Any concern with Shota slow starts last? A little bit, Scott. And that's another thing too, is hosting and I get it. The weather's different in October than August, September, July, all that kind of stuff at Wrigley. But Shota gives up a lot of fly balls. And it's just something that, again, those early runs can be killer. So a little concerned on the concern level of 1 to 10 right now, maybe like I don't want to act like I'm panicking, maybe a 4. Let's just hope these next 2 outings are a little bit better. But overall, there we go. Sorry, my mic muted for a second. Overall, great series. 3-2. Anthony Rizzo, congratulations on an awesome career. Enjoy retirement. And one more thing real quick. I need more Assad, most underrated. Yeah, I agree. I need more Assad too. I'd like to see if he's gonna be in that bullpen role like they had him today. I want to see some more of that. I want to see him get comfortable with that, because I think he's a guy, especially in the playoffs, that could be a unsung hero, if that's what you want to call it. A guy that even if it's a loss, even if there's, game 2 or let's say they win the wild card series and they're playing the division, a 5-game series division, or let's say they even make it to the CS and there's a 7-game series and all that. I can see Assad being that guy, whether, you need to cover some innings for whatever reason. If it's one of those things you're losing big and you need Assad to give me 4 or 5 innings right here. Or if it's one of those things where you're in extra innings and your bullpen is pretty low right now, and hey, get Assad up, let him throw however long he can go. Almost like a Nate Eovaldi from 2018, kind of like that. It'd be something that I'd like to see a lot more, for sure. Just a couple of notes as far as injuries and stuff like that. So Kevin Alcantara was called back up, I believe, today. Yesterday, Owen Casey was called up for Alcantara. Makes a great play. makes a great play in right field, hits his head on the brick wall out in the outfield. He gets taken out in the 6th inning for concussion like symptoms. I want to say he's on the 7-day IL. So Alcantara is back up with the club. Also, Michael Soroka, supposedly he's returning soon. I want to say his next outing, as far as on a mound, he's been making his minor league, his rehab starts and everything like that. I want to say his next outing is going to be with the Cubs. I don't know if that'll be in Pittsburgh or Cincinnati or whatever, but according to Craig, his next outing is going to be with the big league team. Seiya, like I said earlier, Seiya Suzuki. He was out with an illness for this series, but he will travel with Pittsburgh. Nice to see. Hopefully we see him, Monday, Tuesday, whenever. And Daniel Palencia, not a groundbreaking news or anything like that, but he played catch on Friday. Craig said we'll see. Hopefully, maybe, and he said it went well, so hopefully it's something that maybe we get to see him at the end of the month. But in my head right now, Danny P is out. If he makes the playoff roster, great. If he's fine, great. Hopefully he is. But it's just one of those things. By the time, if he was to come back, he's going to be gone for so long as far as getting back into that game rhythm and everything like that. I don't expect him to be this team's closer if he does come back at the end of the year, but hopefully he does, because hey, this bullpen could definitely use him as well as this bullpen's been as of late. Hey, you can't ever have too many arms. So yeah, overall, great series. Hopefully all these guys on the IL, the ones that are coming on or coming off, everything like that. Hopefully we see all these guys sooner rather than later. And hey, supposedly Kyle Tucker technically is eligible to come off the IL on, I thought I read Tuesday. I may be wrong on that, but still, Craig's done said, even if it is Tuesday, whatever day it's technically is, I want to say Craig said he's still not ready, and it's just going to be a kind of like a slow process coming back. So we'll see. And Darren here, magic number 10. Let's get the top wild card spot. I agree, Darren. I think it's important, just because I get it. And I wrote earlier on Cubs on Tap, I would rather, call me crazy, I would rather play the Dodgers than the Padres in the playoffs right now. I would, just because of the bullpen that the Dodgers have right now has been horrible. But with all that being said, I'd still want the top wildcard spot. So yeah, if the Padres are number 2, fine, whatever. It is so important to get that top wildcard spot. It means a lot, just because traveling to San Diego alone and then having to play a possible 3-game series at San Diego, all three games at San Diego. It's something that is not easy at all. So yeah, it's important for sure. Anyways, so yeah, Cubs moved to, I believe, let's see here real quick. I want to say that was their 85th win of the season. Yeah, 85-64. They are 8.5 games up on the 8.5 games up with the top wild card spot, and 3.5 ahead of San Diego. And they will head to Pittsburgh starting on Monday. They start Monday night, 3-game series. Starts Monday with Jameson Taillon taking on Braxton Ashcraft. I want to say it's Jameson's second start since he was coming off the IL. So, hey, big start for Jameson. Like we said, he's probably got, after this start, he may have one more start, and that's about it. So, at least till the end of the season. And so it's something that, hey, this is a very important start for him. I know it's Pittsburgh, whatever. Still got to come out and be that arm that we expect him to be. And Braxton Ashcraft, hey, he faced Chicago, I believe it was last month, and wasn't terrible. 5 innings and 1 earned run. I get it. Our offense, it was during that stretch where our offense was just completely gone, completely clueless. But You got to show up. He's rocking a 2.47 ERA. So, hey, you've got Jameson's got to show up. Jameson's got to do his thing. This offense has got to show up. But it starts on Monday. And then Tuesday could arguably be one of the matchups of the season. Cade Horton and Paul Skeens Tuesday. I'm going to be honest. I was looking at flights from Nashville to Pittsburgh, which, by the way, American Airlines, you guys suck because you don't have any straight nonstop flights to Pittsburgh from Nashville. So figure it out. But I was really tempted to get it because tickets are pretty cheap. I can get a ticket for $40 behind $50 behind the Cubs dugout in Pittsburgh. But yeah, Cade Horton, Paul Skeens, matchup of the second half of the season. You've got the NL Rookie of the Year, arguably going up against the NL Cy Young of the Year. Maybe I'm not going to say it, guys, but maybe two possible future teammates matching up against each other. Going up against each other. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. And I agree. I agree, Darren. Pittsburgh could be tough. Pittsburgh could be very tough. And yes, Scott, Horton versus Skeens needs to be on it. It does. It definitely does. But yeah, that's going to be a great matchup for sure. And then on Wednesday, you've got Matthew Boyd taking on Johan Oviedo. So again, you look at Pittsburgh on the schedule and you think, oh man, it's Pittsburgh. But still, Pittsburgh, like you said, Darren, could be tough. You got Paul Skeens on Tuesday. That's going to be tough. You know it is, even if he is on a pitching or an innings limit or whatever. But it starts on Monday. It starts on Monday with Jameson. Jameson's got to go, give me 6 innings, JMO. Give me 6. Try to keep the ball. Let's keep the ball in the ballpark. And offense, keep showing up. Keep taking advantage of the situations you have. You get bases loaded, runners on second and third with less than 2 outs. Let's do a job. We're this close to the end of the season to playoff baseball. Let's treat these games like playoff games. And I get it. It's Pittsburgh. You look on the schedule. Oh, how am I going to treat this? Just treat these games like playoff games. Take advantage of those situations. Let's not be getting picked off like we did last week twice. Let's not make mental mistakes and stuff like that. Let's not do any of that. And treat these games like playoffs. Hey, Scott still believes 5.5 games back behind Milwaukee. Not saying they're going to, but hey, let's get them thinking about us. Let's get them let's just get them a little worried. How about that? And again, it starts on Monday with Jameson Taillon. And again, Tuesday's going to be a hell of a matchup. Can't wait. But anyways, final thoughts as far as just coming up, guys. We've got 4 series left. We've got 4 series left till the end of the season. And yeah, Darren, I agree. Imagine a healthy Justin Steele this season. I know. I agree. It just, what if, right? I mean, it would be nasty. Who knows? But again, we have 4 series left this season. Where's the time gone, right? 4 series. If you get a chance, go out to a game because hey, you're right, Scott. Maybe we wouldn't have Horton up right now. That's a good point, but we can only we can only dream. Maybe next year wouldn't be well, I guess it wouldn't be till probably the middle of next year, but still. But yeah, if you can get to a game, go to a game. I want to say, I think we're going next week to the Mets series. Or no, Yeah, we're going to one of the Mets games, and I'm going to try to go. I want to say to Cincinnati on this Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. But 4 series left, man. Just treat them like playoff series. Treat them all like playoff series. But other than that, yeah, I believe last night was the final baseball tonight. I saw. I thought I saw that somewhere. That thing's changed since I don't know. I haven't kept up with baseball tonight. I haven't really got into baseball tonight for a few years now. Back when it was cool. I mean, I get it. They have a cool setup and stuff like that. But yeah. So farewell to baseball tonight. But other than that, hey, let's talk about real quick what's on tap. Not only do we cover the Cubs here, but we also cover the Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, and yes, the White Sox. And like I said, we cover the Bears. Look, guys, Bears fans, yeah, today was rough. It was. Today was really rough. But if there is one place you can go to vent your frustration, to listen to other fans vent their frustrations about today's game, last week's game, probably the rest of the games they have, 15 games left, I feel like there's no better place to do it than here at On Tap Sports with Bears on Tap. Give all the guys a follow. You can look down here on the bar right here. Teddy Freddy 270, Joey Knows Nothing, Loose on Tap, Nick on Tap, Silent Bob, Rich, all of them. Give them all a follow. They all do great. I tell you one thing. Speaking of football, the Bears may not have done great today, but my fantasy football team is about to be 2-0. And I'm doing this every week. I'm a champion. I'm the reigning champion. I know I've got a couple of friends that are probably watching right now in my fantasy football league. I'm taking it to the airport next week. Taking it next week. I know y'all are watching this. If you need any fantasy advice, anybody out there, just give me a holler. It's easy. Fantasy football is easy. Right there. That's all you need to know. Oh, does Tyler know anything about fantasy football? Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Oh, man. But yeah, anyways. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks everybody for commenting and listening and everything. Man, again, 4 more series. But with that being said, Tyler, let's get out of here the only way we know how. Oh, well, okay, Tyler, we will. St. Louis, you guys are like 18 games back. We'll see you at the end of the season to kick your ass into the off season. And it's just another reason why me and all you other fans out there say F the Cardinals and let's go Cubs.